Hello, I'm Mike Marjanovic, owner of the Werk Shop here in Libertyville, Illinois. I'd like to tell you a little story about what we call the BMW 315 Barchetta. Interesting story. I had one of my technicians searching for parts for another project, and he was online and going through a bunch of stuff, and he stumbles upon this interesting car called a 315, and I believe it was listed up on eBay. And he right away runs to my office and says, Mike, you got to see this. So I run over to the computer, and sure enough, there's this beautiful race car. I take a look at it. I'm pretty familiar with eBay, so I scour through everything. It seems legitimate. So I contact the potential seller and find out more about the car and what its history is. Then we contact a bunch of our foundation type customers and we say we have an interesting opportunity here. There is this race car available online with an interesting history. It ran in the 1947 Mille Miglia and it has its passbook. So gosh, after contacting this one owner who's actually local here in Illinois, he calls up the gentleman selling the car in Europe and finds out it's a countryman of his. So they start talking in Dutch together, and within about 3 hours he had it bought. He calls us up and says, Mike, it's on its way over to you. It'll take about 4 weeks to ship it, and I want you to do a complete restoration on it. Time goes by, we hear from the old owner of the car. We receive the passbook and everything in the mail, and we're kind of just chomping at the bit. But about 6 weeks later, it finally arrives. We get our transporter, we go and pick it up at the dock, and sure enough, it's the real deal. It's a one-off. The reason we call it a 315 is it's based off of the 315 chassis. These gentlemen found a wreck, grabbed the car, took the body off, and handmade an aluminum body to look like a 328 so it could run in the 47 Mille Miglia. Now that the car had arrived and we had done our evaluation, it was time to bring its new owner to meet the car. He fell in love with it right when he saw it, but he does love to go fast. And he said, what's the output on the motor here? We're like probably about 35, 40 horses. He's like, oh, that's not going to cut it for me. So he asked us to rebuild it, and we were able to get triple the horsepower out of it. So it is a little rocket now. Let's go back a step. Now that we have done this to the motor, we're going to need more stopping power. So we had to remake all of the brakes on it. We put larger 328 brakes to deal with this new motor, if you will. We also took and had instruments from a 328 put into this car. Because essentially, when the owner does decide to run the commemorative race, it'll run in the 328 class, and so now it'll have the wheels, great motor, and the proper instrumentation. Another challenge on the Barchetta was the paint. Our current owner wanted it to resemble the race cars of the past. So he asked us if we could duplicate a matte type finish. And these types of finishes have been done, but they're extremely difficult to maintain. So we partnered up with our affiliate paint shop and we created a special formulation. The only problem with this is after the paint was created, once we're doing reassembly, any sweat droplets, any dirt smudges, when you'd go to clean them off, would literally brighten up the matte finish. So it's been a tough go, but we feel we have a beautiful end product, and we look forward to seeing him run the commemorative Mille Miglia race. One of our largest challenges with this project was what to do with the headlights. If he was going to run this race, he needed to have functioning headlights. Of course, when we put the larger brakes in, we got larger wheels and larger tires, and after vetting everything and doing a dry run, we realized as we were turning the wheel, we'd hit the headlight buckets. So we had to re-engineer the headlight buckets along with the actual lights themselves in order to have plenty of clearance to turn the wheel. Once this was accomplished, and fast forward about 3.5 years, and we are bringing this project to completion. We plan on, it's just now at the paint shop, getting a couple final touches done, and we plan to deliver it to the owner in November of 2014.